how is the country broke? So if the diamonds are there, how is the country broke? Now they are not being sold. Who is selling? De Beers. Then De Beers is not doing its job. Maybe we should take over and sell them ourselves. That's what we should do. And that will be deemed very radical. Now this guy is a label. But the country needs the money. And it has the diamonds. And somebody who's supposed to be selling the diamonds is not doing the job. Oh no. And we are simply sitting on our laurels, folding up our arms and hoping, beyond hope, that this... No. I will take the diamonds and see what we can do with them. They are ours. These diamonds are ours. And so before the end of this year, something very drastic in that space will happen.
Wow, what a move for Botswana. Greetings and welcome all of you, family, friends, fellow Africans here in the continent, and to you who are in the diaspora. Please do not skip this video. Watch this video from the beginning to the end. We are going to share this good news from Botswana. Yes, it's true that Botswana is seeking more control of diamond mining giant De Beers. All of us, we know that De Beers is a company, Western company, that is operating in Botswana in mining sector, especially in diamond. Here is the truth. Welcome.
Africa has always been rich in resources, but too often others have held the keys to that wealth. Today, that's beginning to change. Botswana, a small but powerful African nation, is standing up to one of the oldest and most powerful mining empires in the world, De Beers. This isn't just a business move. It's a bold statement about sovereignty, legacy, and the future of African wealth. In this video, we explore why Botswana is challenging De Beers, what's at stake, and how this battle could reshape Africa's role in the global economy. Botswana is the second largest producer of diamonds by value in the world. Diamond mining accounts for roughly 1/3 of its GDP and over 80% of its export earnings. De Beers, the diamond giant founded in South Africa in 1888, has had a long-standing partnership with Botswana through a joint venture known as Debswana, a 50-50 deal between De Beers and the Botswanan government. But while Botswana owns 15% of De Beers itself, the majority, 85%, is still controlled by Anglo American, a multinational mining corporation. Botswana's president Duma Boko is no longer satisfied with this arrangement. So, why now? President Boko and his administration want full control of Botswana's diamond value chain, from extraction to marketing and sales. The goal is not just national pride, it's about maximizing value, job creation, and negotiating power. Currently, Botswana supplies about 70% of De Beers' rough diamonds each year, yet the final profits, branding, and global distribution remain in foreign hands. The government argues this model is outdated and unfair. By acquiring Anglo American's stake in De Beers, Botswana could reshape the global diamond market, giving Africa a much stronger voice at the negotiating table. To understand the full weight of this moment, we need to go back in time. De Beers was built on African soil, and for decades it symbolized colonial wealth extraction. Founded by Cecil Rhodes, it dominated global diamond trade through monopolies and price control. African countries provided the raw stones, while profits and power flowed overseas. Even as countries gained independence, corporations like De Beers retained a grip on local industries through joint ventures, long-term contracts, and global infrastructure. Botswana was one of the few African countries that managed to negotiate a fairer deal. But even then, true control remained elusive. Taking control of De Beers isn't just a business decision, it's a geopolitical move. If Botswana succeeds in acquiring a majority stake, it sends a signal to the world that Africa is no longer just a source, it's a force. Other African nations with mineral wealth, like the DRC, Angola, and Namibia, will be watching closely. This could become a blueprint for reclaiming local control, boosting domestic economies, and ending exploitative foreign deals. It also repositions Botswana as a leader in African economic independence. Of course, the road ahead won't be easy. Anglo American may resist selling. The global diamond industry is complex, and shifting control could disrupt supply chains and market confidence. Botswana also faces internal challenges. How will it fund the acquisition? Will it manage De Beers effectively after decades of foreign management? But perhaps the biggest challenge is political. Will other global powers support or sabotage Botswana's ambitions? Regardless of the outcome, one thing is clear. The old model is crumbling. Africa is tired of exporting raw materials and importing poverty.
Because the diamonds now cannot be relied upon in the manner that we have relied upon them previously or heretofore. We've got to find other means. We've got to be creative. We've got to be innovative. And so we've got to deploy technology. Because that is the instrument that will enable us to extend our capabilities and even prolong our lives in the health space and many other spaces, in the financial space. With our credit rating in Africa, there's no reason why we should not be the financial epicenter, if you will, on the African continent. There's no reason why we shouldn't be. And you wonder why we haven't moved, taken strides in this direction so far. So there's a lot that has to be done. It has to be done very quickly. And the private sector is invited to come and play a big role in all this.
It's not just about diamonds. It's about power, pride, and prosperity. If Botswana succeeds, it could ignite a new era of African resource control and a new chapter in the global economy. This is more than a business deal. It's a shift in mindset. Africa is not waiting for permission anymore. It's taking back what's rightfully its own. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you believe in an Africa that owns its future.
Yes, President Duma Boko of Botswana is joining leaders, revolutionary leaders in SAHEL. I mean, Captain Traore, Assimi Goita, and Blamani Chiani. Do you see other African countries and African leaders are going to join the chain? Are they going to take control of their natural resources? The way we see things happening in Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and this time in Botswana. And of course, I'm very happy to inform you that even in Namibia, the new president of Namibia, Excellency Madam Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, she has already addressed the issue of taking control of Namibia's natural resources. You know, it doesn't make sense that this continent is a begging continent. It's a continent that begging to others. Despite we have all these resources, the problem that we have, we are not controlling our natural resources. And that's the thing that it is difficult. So we have to fight to make sure that we take control of our natural resources. I know it will not be easy, especially to these democratic countries, the countries that are under democratic governments. It will be not easy. It will be difficult. And we know some will look leaders, maybe after 5 years, they can vote them out. But all in all, we should not be scared. We should not become cowards. We need to take the bold steps to make sure that Africans are taking controls of their natural resources. So President Duma Boko, the president of Botswana, remain resolute in increasing Botswana's stake to ensure full control over its strategic national assets and the entire value chain, including marketing. So Botswana owns 15% of De Beers, which supply about 70% of the company's annual rough diamond production. The government is exploring option to acquire Anglo American's 85% stake in De Beers. So you can see the dream of president of Botswana. Of course, as I said, it will not be easy because this is the world of economy, so they can sometimes try to sabotage, and sometimes they can please us. They know that after a certain time the regime will be over, there will come another regime, and of course they have always planning new regimes in the continent of Africa to find regimes that are supporting them. And that's why you see they're not happy with leaders, revolutionary leaders in Sahel. You may ask yourself why. Because these leaders are serious leaders. These political leaders sometimes are being sponsored by these powerful nations and these nations to make sure that they are protecting their interests. But all in all, I think if we can come together, the thing that we have been saying many times, the issue of unity. Africa will lack one thing, that all these things that we are saying. Botswana is seeking more control of diamond, maybe Namibia also speaking the same thing. If you go to Sahel, you see. But if African nations can come together and say, we are going to work together, we are going to unite, because what we seek as Africans is economic freedom. That's what we are seeking. Africans, we are not seeking maybe to own these minerals. These minerals is ours. There's no question about that. What we need right now is to come together. We lack unity. So look, you find, for instance, in African Union, they have a lot of things to do. They talk about free movement of people and goods. They talk about our single passport. They speak about African Continental Free Trade Area. But ask, which one we have succeeded? Have we succeeded to have a single passport? No. Have we succeeded to have free movement of people and goods? No. Which things we have succeeded as African Union? You remember the year 2020? Were they here to silence the guns in Africa? Have we achieved that? No. Why? Because of this unity. We are not united. We are not speaking with one voice. So even this, what happening to what President Boko wishing to see happening in Botswana cannot be achieved if Boko himself can learn this agenda. This agenda must be continental agenda, that this time we are going to own our minerals. Each country must be on far front to make sure that they own their natural resources. But guess what's happening? These countries are always divided. You remember last month, I think, if it's not last week, 5 heads of state from Africa were invited into White House to speak and to talk about investment. Just imagine, we have African Union, we have ECOWAS, we have East African Community, we have SADC. Why it's only 5 heads of states? Why not America negotiating with ECOWAS? Why not America negotiating with African Union? Why they pick individuals, few countries? How is it comes? So I think the time has come for African leaders. I don't know what they're discussing when they meet in Addis. I doubt what our leaders are discussing when they meet in meetings like in Addis. And that's why, now I understand. These leaders from Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso were expelled from African Union. Why? Because sometimes there are those who feared that if these people can be invited into the African Union summit, they can provide speech that can distract the exploitation ideas in the minds of African leaders. That's why they have been prohibited to enter into African Union. What they want to say? They want democratic governance. They want maybe here necktie and maybe suits, white or whatever, any color. They want these leaders to take off their combat, to take off their military clothes. But I have been saying this. The idea is not about clothes. The idea is the minds of these people. You see? So our leaders, when they meet in Addis, they have to discuss how can Africa take control of our natural resources. And we have to hold each one accountable. What have you done in your country to make sure that you take control of your minerals? We have no continental organization or body that can hold these leaders accountable. Africa is fragmented. Africa is disunited. Africa is like a broken glass. So we are saying, as young people, as Africans, the time is now. Now we have leaders who have shown her the way. These leaders. So we need other leaders to join. This they have already started. Let us others join. Let us Namibia join these leaders. Let us Botswana do the same. Chad do the same. If we can do like that, at the end of the day, we will find ourselves into a united form. Don't fear each other. Don't fear ideas. Don't fear idea from these leaders. And you see tribalization, how it is going on right now. What happened in Botswana happened before in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. So this is the way we want to see the continent is moving. We know we have leaders, as I said many times, we have puppets who are working for the interests of the West, who are in the payrolls, and they have already offered some towns and houses in different capitals in Western countries. But we young people, we should not become tired, because this is our continent. We have to create in different narratives for our countries, for our continent. So we must join President Boko and the other leaders who are seeking to take control of our natural resources. Because if you take control, it means you're taking control of industrialization. If you're talking about industrialization, you're talking about innovation. How can we become innovators if we don't have industries? Where are we going to innovate? How can you talk about improving education if you have no environment where these people, after finishing their schools or their universities, are going to apply those knowledges? How can we talk about that? I think the time is now. As I said many times, we need to come together. We need to unite. We need to support these leaders like President Duma Boko. This is not an easy task. We know the time is going very fast. 5 years is too short, but we hope maybe next time the people of Botswana will give him another opportunity, because 5 years too short, my dear lovely family. You cannot transform things that have been there for more than 50 years within 5 years. Yes, you can, but it is difficult a little bit. So, brothers and sisters, let us not speak for too long. I'm very happy that now changes is happening. What we have been dreaming about is happening right now in Botswana, and Botswana is showing that things is possible, even in democratic countries. We have been seeing this in revolutionary countries such as Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, and now we have started to see this in democratic countries. So, brothers and sisters, thank you for being with me. Thank you for being part of this movement in revolution. Make sure that you'll be part of this movement by joining us through subscription. Make sure that you subscribe and you join the big family of making Africa great. Our aim is one, to build the Africa that all of us we want. After that, have no more. Thank you. Stay in power.
Thank you, Africa, Mama Africa.